that world will cease to be.
Hello. Northern route. Pearl small clam. What's that over there? Hold on, the game's being laggy again. First things first, I'm gonna check this thing out. Whatever it is. It looks like I don't need my cape, my doodad here. Because the weather is fairly warm. Holy crap, look at those. Oh, come on. Holy whack-a-mole, that thing exploded into fire. This is Heartstone deposit. Is this even worth carrying? Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Take my arrow back now. Oh. A reaver. We don't have anything interesting. Bone mode gauntlets. Bone meal. We have a strong box. Sort of chest, it seems, and another. Nah. Yes. What? Okay, fine. You can keep that. You can keep your cabbage. Cool. Restore health. Resist fire. And weakness shock. Yay up. Alright, guys. We've made it. Whoop. We are slipping off the... We probably don't want to fall off this thing. We've made it to Solstein. And despite all these stutters, I can probably safely say that this is going to be a nice adventure. Going to try to uninstall the scenic carriages since we're going to be stuck here a while. And that script could be slowing us down. So yeah. Make a new save here. And we'll be back for more later. I couldn't help it. I gave it a little break, but then I decided to try to do a little more. This won't take long. I just needed to do some to take and stem some anxiety. For example, see what that island is over there. Maybe this time we'll be ready. See Vardenfell whoop way over there. Those are bright auroras. And I see a Nirn root. Nirn. Noink. I just wish I knew why the game was doing this. Pearl oyster. Clams. Grass. Twigs. Well, I don't see any way up near the top. Now I do. It goes in circles. This is going to get annoying. So all this for nothing. Thanks a lot. Well, I can see Vardenfell, the surrounding Morrowind. Fact. They did put the island there, the entire island, but you cannot swim there. The standard you cannot go that way message. So, it's there for looks, not for exploring. Kind of sad though. Didn't I put that away? That might be the cause there.
Far from ourselves.
He grows ever near to us.
Creepy people.
Our eyes once were blinded.
Now through him do we see.
Our hands once were idle. Now through them does he speak. And when the world shall listen, and when the world shall see, and when the world remembers, that world will cease to be.
Okay.
Here in his shrine, that they have forgotten, here do we toil.
that we
By
might
night
remember.
we reclaim what by day was stolen. Far from ourselves, he grows ever near to us. Our eyes once were blinded, now through him do we see. Our hands once were idle, now through them does he speak. And when the world shall listen, and when the world shall see, and when the world remembers, that world will cease to be. Here in his
Okay.
shrine,
That entire thing they chat is kind of
that
boring.
they have
well,
forgotten.
and creepy. You know, I'm kind of considered.
Here we toil.
Okay.
That we might remember.
Yeah, I'm not gonna touch this. Cause look at these people here.
By night we reclaim.
I'm probably gonna end up stuck in this silly little pose like the rest of them. Are they supposed to be hammering on the rock and they're not?
Ever near to us.
Our eyes once were blinded.
Now through him do we see.
And I need to get going on my quest. I seem to have forgotten one. You know, I can probably disable Hearthfire since I don't bother touching it. That might take some script load off of the engine, but I don't think it's the scripts. It might result in something somewhat unpleasant anyway. Huh. What the? What? Bone mold? But I can use bone meal to make bone mold? You know, I'm gonna draw heavy armor. But chitin is kind of light. Wait, what? 90? $90. Yeah, it's inferior. Nordic? Wow. Holy crap. $20, huh? Come on. Again, inferior. But it looks nice. What am I doing? What's this?
If it wasn't for the bulwark, we'd be digging our houses out
A
from
retching
beneath
net.
the ash by now.
Don't mind me, I'm just taking your plants. Ash. Well, I guess it's useful for something. Sujama? Sujama. Whoa, a lot of ash yam. Even more back here. Yoink, yoink. Is it gonna yoink or is it gonna take a... Yep, it yoinked. I'll just walk and yoink as I go along. The fact that they can cultivate this stuff on this God's forsaken little island covered in ash actually says something. And they will survive. I'll just be taking all their plants there. I see something glowing over there. Oh, it's a fire. This is a house. And here we go again. It didn't used to do this. At least it's still somewhat playable. I'll just take those, thank you. And that. What's this?
Squatting isn't tolerated in the abandoned buildings. If you need a place to stay, head to the Corner Club.
You are being
If
bossy.
you're content to
What the?
wander Soulstone, you do so at your own risk.
Delay. Well, folks, this is how it's gonna work. I don't know how far into this I can get before this setup becomes crazy and prevents me from playing it like I'd want. So when it does become practically unplayable to me, like for example if the save file refuses to load, I'm afraid that'll probably be the end of it. Although I would try to back up to an earlier save if I can. And get somewhere outside of this. Let's see if I can't fix it from there. Let's trade. This is a retching net.
I work for Mogul. You got a problem, you talk to him. Mogul doesn't lend coin to outlanders. Look somewhere else.
Okay, so you're
I'll give you
Mogul.
this warning only once. Stay out of my way, and we'll do just fine.
Can I flip you the bird?
If you're dealing with me, there's only one thing to remember. Pay your debts, or end up hurt.
You are a right jackass. Can I hurt you? But first, do you know anyone named Mirok?
No, wait. I recognize the name, but I'm not sure why.
You can tell me whatever you could.
I don't know. I feel strange just thinking about it. A temple, maybe. Here on the island, something about a temple.
Dravos Root.
Welcome to the Retching Netch Corner Club, milady. If you need anything, Master Gelders will be happy to help you. Did I know someone by that name? Someone that wanted something.
What did he want?
Maybe I'm just confused. I can't be sure. Safe travels.
And now it's gone back to vanilla music, so I need to... There we go. Now it's a lot quieter. I seriously need to find out what's causing that. Maybe it's a program or something. Hang on a sec. There you go. Let's see if that helps. Doesn't look like it. It's still kind of locked up. Where am I? Oh. We've done the steps here. 5 in the morning.
Welcome to the Retching Netch Corner Club, home of the finest Sioux jammer that will ever grace your lips.
A what? What's the specialty around here?
The finest Sioux jammer to cross your lips, friend.
This is like
The
you
own
said that.
personal formula that I call Sadri's Sujama.
Uh-huh.
In fact, I've just added some new ingredients to the mixture that I think makes it taste better than ever. All I need to do is get the word out that it's ready, and they'll flock here for it.
That did not help it whatsoever. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the alcohols, but I'm pretty sure they'll show up eventually.
Yeah, I suppose they might. Oh well.
Unusual name.
There's actually a funny story behind the name, friend.
Isn't there always?
A few years ago, I was walking down by the docks, and I noticed a Dunmer staggering along with a bottle of Sujama in hand. He was one of my patrons and liked to drink heavily, so I wasn't exactly surprised.
Doesn't sound unusual.
But you see, this particular Dunmer was as naked as the day he was born, and singing badly at the top of his lungs. As I'm watching this spectacle, a netch floats over the bulwark towards him. The man looks straight up at the netch, yells, "Have a drink," and tosses the bottle. And it never hit the ground.
I suppose. What did the netch do?
Well, the bottle broke on the netch, and it must have swallowed its contents because it started floating sort of tilted. Finally, it stopped and began to quiver. A few moments later, the foulest liquid to ever assail your nostrils spewed from its maw.
In other words, it threw up.
I've seen plenty of drunks in me day, and I'll tell you right now, that netch was sick. True story, friend. True story.
Uh-huh. You heard rumors?
Haven't heard anything lately. Check back with me. You never know. I heard crazy old Cressius has been sneaking in the Raven Rock mine again. At his age, he's going to get himself killed in there.
Mm-hmm.
Sure thing. It's yours for a day. I'll show you to your room. Right this way.
Interesting chair design.
Let me know if there's anything else you need.
Reclamations. Huh. No, I'm not gonna steal that. Why is the game slowing down like this? The destruction of Vivek City and the subsequent eruption of Red Mountain in 4th Era 5th year was not just a crisis in terms of the physical destruction it caused. It also cut deeply into the ancient religious beliefs of the Dunmer. The fall of the Ministry of Truth was the last straw in the tottering support for the temple's worship of Almalexia, Thothasil, and Vivek. With all three of the tribunes now widely believed dead or disappeared, what had been a simmering schism within the ranks of the temple priesthood burst into the open. But outsiders may never know the full tale of this internal struggle. When the smoke cleared a few years later, the former dissident priests were in full control of the temple hierarchy, with tribunal loyalists either purged or recanted. The so-called New Temple now declared the worship of the tribunes a result of misguided teaching, blaming the mistakes of the former tribunal. The temple now taught that the Daedra venerated by the Ashlander tribes, Azura, Mephala, and Boethia, were the true way and should be revered by the Dunmer people. Fittingly, the Daedra were named the Reclamations, as if they were reclaiming their status from the tribunal. In an elegant compromise, no doubt intended to recognize the large majority of the temple priesthood who were neither dissidents nor fanatic tribunal loyalists, Amalexia, Sosasil, and Vivek regulated to the status of saints, a traditional way to venerate the most honored Dunmer ancestors. This apparently satisfied enough of the existing priesthood that the new temple was able to maintain at least a semblance of outward continuity. The rise of the new temple almost completely vindicated the previously persecuted Ashlanders, who had continued to worship the three Daedra throughout the tribunal's rule. The Ashlanders are now lauded as the keepers of the old ways and having true vision. It is now quite common for many other Dunmer people to make the argument. That's what happens if I try to read this thing fast. It is now quite common for many other Dunmer people to make the arduous pilgrimages into the ash wastes to seek the counsel of the wise women. These women have supposedly opened the eyes of those who they claim were blinded by the tribunal, and directly connect the eruption of the Red Mountain and the Argonian invasion to the anger of the three Daedra. House Indoril, whose fortunes were so entwined with the tribunal temple, suffered greatly from its fall. While House Indoril still technically exists, the priesthood of the temple are now considered one and the same with House Indoril. Those who become priests are now considered to have joined Indoril. The political power of the Indoril has thus passed entirely into the hands of the temple, although members of the old House Indoril are still overrepresented in the priesthood. The rise of the new temple has a number of interesting parallels with the rise of House Redoran. Each filled the vacuum of power resulting from the crisis of Red Year.